We have a great product in the shop that we're excited to share with you. Check it out on our site.
Hey, what up, y'all? If you have not already, go reserve your copy of Void Beast Chapter 4. This is going to be pretty cool because we're getting everything together for 5, obviously. Plus, this one's going to round up everything, but I'll get into all that a little bit later. This one's going to round up some of the things we left hanging in Chapter 3. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this more anyway. Hopefully, this setup will be a little bit better because I'm trying something different. I'm not on my phone anymore. I finally got uh, my my laptop and everything together. So hopefully this will be a little bit different and it'll be a little bit better. So we'll see. We'll see. It might not be. It might be worse, and I'll just go back to the phone. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But it's a few things I want to talk about as usual, but tonight I'm going to be talking about the importance of. I asked the question, and I'm going to be talking about the importance of OP Black characters. But before I get to that, y'all know I post a bunch of stuff on Facebook, and I like. I don't a lot of stuff I just ask questions on, and I post just to see what I see because I have my thoughts on it, and it is what it is. But I will say this: one thing that I recently posted this week was I seen it was a post that said something about some lady saying she was finessing a dude out of Texas Roadhouse. And I thought that was so hilarious. Now, I talk about everything. Y'all know if you're on my Facebook page, you know I talk about some of everything because I feel like for me personally, I'm just not about comic books and stuff. I know this is business, I know all that stuff, but I talk about some of everything, and I always talk about everything. It gets me in trouble with some of y'all. Some of y'all be bad and shit, but I don't care. Like it's like this is what I see. You can have your opinion, I'll have mine, but you go on somewhere with yours, and I'll go on somewhere with mine if it comes down to that. But I'm thinking to myself, like, how in the world are you finessing dudes out of Texas Roadhouse? For what? Texas Roadhouse ain't ever all that great. And the best thing the Texas Roadhouse is they rolls to me, and they what was it that honey cinnamon butter stuff I got? Anyway, that's about it. But my thing is I'm gonna be honest. I blame a lot of men when it comes to stuff like that. I blame us on that. And the reason why I blame us is because when it comes to everybody, well, everybody don't know, but for the most part, most of y'all know poly relationship has been like that for the past 2 years. Before that, all that it's been like that for years. And for me, I'm not trying to get on no dating advice stuff, but I see a lot of stuff like. But I talk about everything, but I do talk about stuff that pertains to things in like I would say what they call nerd and geek culture, even though I never consider myself a nerd or a geek because I ain't been through the things that y'all been through because I just haven't. Some of that stuff that y'all be talking about couldn't go on with me. It just couldn't. But I talk about the stuff that pertains to that, and I see it, and I'm like, yo, some of the stuff y'all be whining about, and I'm talking about real life shit. I ain't talking about this shit that they trying to bust y'all over the head with, like with She-Hulk and all. So that's goofy shit. That She-Hulk and y'all this and that and all the name calling. That's some goofy clown shit to me from both sides to me. Like I'm talking about real life shit. And I blame us because a woman should know where you're coming from. Like straight up. Like straight up. Even when being in a whole poly relationship and stuff, when you meeting and talking to people, I tell people straight up, it's like, yo, this is what we are. We poly, we this, we dating. This is what we are. If I'm out by myself with them, I tell them like, yo, you do realize that I am poly, or that me and my partner are looking for somebody else, or whatever the case may be. Now, you may be nervous, you may your voice may shake, all that stuff, everything. That's all fine. But all this, let me beat around the bush, let me act none, let me not be upfront about what's going on and stuff like that. No. You got to be straight up. You got to always be straight up with these folks. Always be straight up. This game where we don't know and I'm so nervous. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. You better tell folks straight up what you coming to do and let it be known what your intentions are out the gate. Like all this other stuff is wild. Another thing about it is the reason why I blame men. Now, this is kind of twofold. This is kind of like for the woman and for the man. Now, the reason why I blame men about this also is because you shouldn't be going out your way to do none of this shit. Especially, I don't know, first or second dates. Like, come on, man. Again, I'm not trying to be no relationship person. I'm but by no means in that. But out the gate, you shouldn't be doing all this stuff. Like, unless it's something, and what I mean by that, unless it's something that you yourself would do for yourself. For me, I'll go out to a random restaurant by myself and sit down and eat and mind my business. I will go eat ice cream by myself, sit down in my vehicle and mind my business, or sit down and watch folks. I will do all of these things for myself. So there should be no reason why you doing anything for anybody else that you wouldn't do for yourself or for any random person or a kid or somebody else. I do this for my mama, my sisters, my friends. Shit, me and my friends grew up doing this shit. It was always a thing where we buy for other folks and everything. So if I'm taking somebody on a date, I definitely ain't doing nothing that's out of character for myself. And then on the woman's side, for her to think that you getting over on me because I decide to take you to somewhere goofy like Texas Roadhouse is laughable, because it's like, I spend less money going with you than I do with anybody else. Like, I spend more money doing this with anybody else than I'm about to do this with you. I could spend 300, 400, 500, 600 on a meal with a bunch of folks and just, man, it's whatever. You coming here and eating some rolls and a strawberry lemonade and whatever you about to get, that don't hurt me. That's like, you're not getting over on me. So to think that, it's like, what's the matter with y'all? But this is what we got going on and stuff. So I'm not going, like I said, I ain't trying to be all that. It's a thing where it's a little silly. So again, I ain't trying to do all that. I talk about that stuff here and there, but yeah. So another thing I want to talk about before I move on is a lot of this shit that I see that's going on with She-Hulk. Now, I'm whatever on it. I haven't watched the third episode yet, and to be honest, I'll probably wait to watch it. I'll probably wait to watch everything once all this goofy shit died down, because I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. This is, oh Jesus, this is mind-numbing shit. Like, it's like, really? And here's my thing. Like I said on one of my videos before, my thing is always how we treat other people when it comes, for me personally. I think a lot of the shit is goofy that's being said, the back and forth. I'm like, come on, man. This is some of the most goofy shit. On one hand, it's people, you don't like twerking? You an incel, you this and that. On the other hand, is it did that, it is twerking, and to me, and for me personally, I'm kind of down the middle on it. Because one minute, me, I'm a dirty motherfucker. So I don't mind watching some tall green butt cheeks move around and stuff. I wouldn't mind that. It wouldn't do nothing to me. I'm like, oh man, that's nice. But on the other hand, I can understand what some people are saying. But again, my thing is how people treat each other. One side is talking crazy. talking about each other, dismissing what everybody's talking about. Then the other side is talking about how people don't see what's going on and everything. So for me, I would say that it's fine to do whatever. And I seen a black woman talking about it. And this is why, again, this is why I don't trust none of you motherfuckers when it comes to any of this protect black women or we need to protect women shit. Because a woman can tell you, hey, I didn't like it. I didn't like that that she was doing all that and they brought Megan. And I've seen women talk about this. I've seen black women talk about this, that they brought her in. And is this all black women are good for? I understand that view. I understand that. It's like, is this all that black women are good for, to come in and teach somebody how to shake their ass and stuff like that? I have an issue with that. And motherfuckers, men and other people will jump on it and be like, oh, you don't know why you feel like that. Just it's like, okay. But then it's also a thing where it's like, I do understand when people are saying, hey, you must not know She-Hulk, because that's some shit that She-Hulk would do. That's some shit her goofy ass would do. So my thing is how people get treated. All the name calling and all of from the so-called tolerant folks. And it's always from the so-called, I watch all y'all just so tolerant, but y'all down to call people names and everything online. I'm like, I can't. Y'all wild as fuck. Y'all wild as fuck. Like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And I'm not trying to understand it. That's why I don't understand it, because I ain't trying to understand it. So again, whatever. It's just getting tiring. And it's like, it goes back to what I was talking about before about the whole marketing. Disney and them know how to do marketing. They know how to do advertising, marketing, and all that. And they're using all of this to market their show. Because here's the thing. Here's the honest thing. What I have seen, I haven't seen too many people actually talk about what's going on in the show. And maybe I'm missing something, but I watch the groups. I just sit back and I watch a lot of stuff. I don't say nothing. But I haven't seen anybody talk about. I've seen a few people talk about the Wrecking Crew, but nobody is talking about, man, this and that in the show is just so amazing. Nobody's talking about that. And that's what's concerning to me. So folks is just using this, like both sides. Both sides, one side is using it, the pro side that's just so in love and they can do no wrong. They're using it to be like, I hope this and that happened to y'all and they stick it to y'all good and this and that. Then the other side is using it to be like, oh man, I hate this and this is just woke stuff and this shit is going down the drain. But nobody's talking about the actual show. And when I do hear the show, I hear that it's funny. What was so funny? Like, I'm not hearing like, yo, this was funny, this was funny, this was funny. It's like, it's just, because if I say, oh, I like Friday, I can tell you what moments were funny. And it's just, I'm not hearing anything across the board. Like even with Wanda and her story, and again, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit next. Even with Wanda's story, Wanda carried the story. Like, I don't even like Wanda. I'm not gonna get into that part, but Wanda carried that story on her back, like she did. Man, and you can tell what's going on in her story, and we can say, yo, this is what's happening, but why did this happen? Okay, but if this was happening, why is this happening? But the last few ones, it hasn't been that as much. It hasn't been that. I feel like it was more of that with Miss Marvel than with She-Hulk, and you can call it whatever, that's fine, but you can talk about the actual story. Nobody, again, I don't want to say nobody, but I'm not seeing as many posts about the actual story. And that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just wait until all this died down to finish watching it, because both sides is getting on my damn nerves. Both sides. And I usually, and I don't like nothing, but I can't even be like, I don't, because She-Hulk was one of the ones I've been waiting for. You can see all up and down my timeline. She was one of the ones I'm waiting for. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to wait before I just call anything on this show yet, because I'm seeing goofy shit. But then what's frustrating me is not even necessarily outside of what I talked about before. It's not even the show. It's what people are saying. It's how people relate and how they're putting this on other people and talking crazy to other people about a show. All the back and forth, like Jesus Christ. Oh, but one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I was talking to one of my people about it and how I say whatever about what, like with Marvel and stuff. I want y'all to know that I actually do understand what's going on for me, and this is my theory. What I see going on in Marvel right now is like it's all over the place, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Me myself, I don't like it. I think a lot of the stuff was trash, or was I didn't like Thor. I had some issues with Doctor Strange, but I did like it. I did like Doctor Strange, but I had some issues with it. I did like it. The shows were whatever. But if I'm being honest, like when I'm being honest about it, I feel like that this one, and I'm only talking about this because everybody just think I just hate Marvel all the time. It's like, no, this is me being honest. I feel like that this phase is like that because of who they're going to be going up against, and that being Kang. Because of the way everything is done, it's a little all over the place, and it's a little confusing. And everything from what I've been seeing in looking up on and everything with Kang's story is a little all over the place, and it can be a little confusing. And so it's like with a villain like him, everything is going to be a lot of chaos with him. He's jumping all over the place. He talking to himself. He go back fight himself. Then he break these other selves. Then he go get a time stone. Then he dealing with this person. That dude just all over the place, and he do some wild shit from what I'm seeing and what I've read in the past, little bitty stuff here and there. And then me going back over this stuff, this dude do some wild stuff. So I feel like even with Marvel, everything will be a little bit all over the place, and a lot of it ain't gonna make sense because of the type of villain that they're going with, and he's going to come back. Because even with the only thing that really made sense for me was when Jonathan Majors' character, He Who Remains, popped up. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like out of everything that's been on with Marvel, outside of like Spider-Man and a few other things, seeing him as He Who Remains made sense to me. And that's the standard that I still love that episode of Loki. And everything he was explaining, I was like, oh, okay, got it. Okay, yeah, I understand. I'm rocking with you. I understand. I got it. Then when he was gone again, and they didn't bring him back until what, Ant-Man? He's not coming back to them. I'm like, but it all makes sense because of the playing around with the timeline. And one of my dudes named Alan, shout out to you, man. He was asking me about Mordo, and I had to agree with him. Like Mordo talking about everything Strange was doing in the first movie, messing around with time, putting himself in that loop, and just playing with time. And Mordo's like, you can't do stuff like that. So if we started from there till now, it could be a whole bunch of wild shit going on. And a lot of it's going to be confusing because you can't just mess with time and be like, oh yeah, it all makes sense. Again, this is me just telling you what I think is going on with Marvel, not talking crazy, not doing my judgmental shit on them. That's just what I think that, and again, I don't like a lot of stuff from this just because I understand, or I think I understand what's going on with this phase. Just because I think I understand doesn't mean I don't, or I think I understand where it's going doesn't mean I don't like what they putting out. Some of the stuff is bullshit, but I understand what all the stuff that's going on because all of the characters are going to be all over the place, and it's dealing with a dude like Kang. You can't deal with a time jumper and a time traveler and stuff not be confusing. So even the stuff that's even the movies and the shows and stuff that lead up to Kang popping up, it's going to be wild. At least that's my theory. That's my like saving grace theory for Marvel. Like I know a lot of people saying this doesn't make sense. I still agree with some of the people where they're saying they relying on like cameos and stuff like that. I agree with that, but I'm saying that it's going to be confusing because of the direction it's going and dealing with Kang and all these different timelines and all this stuff. That's all I got. So it could be a few other things. And then so I'm seeing some of the people that they talk about bringing in and stuff. And me and Ruben had said something like they said they had like John Boyega and like Denzel, Giancarlo and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, all I know is that I need Magneto to stick to being a Jewish white man. Like everything else I can probably deal with, but I need Magneto to stay a Jewish white man because I felt that story like always. I've always felt that story, whether it's changed over time or whatever, but that's one that's always stood out to me. And that's one that I've loved. It's like I don't want to see if you got a black person, he better be, his family better be straight out of slavery or something, or or something. He just aged slow or something. But I don't want to see that. Professor X could be whatever, and I don't really want to. He can be what. So it's and Denzel, whoever, if that was true, and this all could just be rumor stuff. It's all just rumor stuff, So it is what it is. I'm not good at. I don't really want to get into that too much. So what I guess I'll move on to what I really want to talk about. And I asked a few questions about OP Black characters, and my people gave me some good feedback on it for the most part with the first couple of posts I've seen. And I wanted to talk about that because to me, there's an importance of having overpowered Black characters. Like all this, well, they gotta be this, and they can't be too overpowered, and they can't be. I do that and I say that because a lot of these other, like, especially when it comes to the MCU and stuff like that, a lot of the white characters are overpowered. There's some that aren't, like Captain America, but people like Doctor Strange, Thor. I'd even, with the way they did him in the movies, to a certain extent, I'd even say Iron Man. Like a lot of these people are overpowered and everything, but when it came to like and maybe I'm missing something. When it came to like the Black Panthers and stuff, which were pretty strong characters, they dead. They just killed him off. We don't know how that's gonna go, and I'm not gonna get into that right now. It's like so from what we know, he dead. Falcon is just like Rhodey is just and it's like, come on, man. And so I think that with Black Panther, white kids love Black Panther. Like a lot of white kids love Black Panther, and I thought that was cool. And I'd see them dress up for Halloween and everything is Black Panther. And I don't know, like I'm not going into the racist shit. I'm not going into that. I'm just talking about little kids wearing going to buy the Black Panther outfit. The parents doing everything fine. The little boy got the mask on and everything's fine. It's on the up and up. I've seen a lot of that with Black Panther. And then it's like he gone. It's like, okay, well, and the reason why I say it's the importance of Black characters is because Black children, and that was my issue with Monica in Monica Rambeau in the MCU. I think that was probably my biggest issue with Captain Marvel. Like when I was watching it, it was I'm watching okay. And when the little girl came across and she was like, the little Black girl who was Monica, I was like, did her mama call her Monica? What? She called Auntie Carol? What? Wait, why is Monica? What? And it just, I was in the theater just fuming. I was like, why are they treating Carol like Monica looked up to her? Like Monica never looked up to her like that. And this is the same thing I said when the movie came out. It was like Monica never looked up to her like that. Ever. Monica would basically come in, slap Carol around and be like, you know what this is. I was the one before you anyway. And just leave. And it was like Monica always stood on her own too. And so when they did that, I was like, what the? Oh my God. And I think Monica is like, can be close to the OP thing. But there's always some type of blockers when it comes to Black characters. To me, you don't have to believe it. There's always somebody, like my man said, I forgot when he was talking about Green Lantern. It was like Green Lantern seemed more precise with John Stewart. It was like he always seemed more precise and stuff, but there was always somebody just kind of watching him. Hal Jordan and other people just watching him and looking out for him, just keeping him in check and stuff. And it was like, what the hell? And so then when they put her on, when they put Monica on WandaVision, I was like, okay, so basically, are they saying that she got her powers from getting blasted by Wanda? Like, okay, all right. Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was something else. Maybe she always had him. I don't know. They can spin it however they want to. I'm whatever. But I just didn't. I didn't. I don't feel that. I don't feel that. And it's like the reason why there needs to be that is because black kids look up to these characters. And no matter how you swing it, just like I said, white kids dress up as Black Panther and stuff. They love Black Panther for the most part, especially after the movie shit. But there's an importance for us to have black characters that are OP and that can do this world breaking shit because little kids look up to it. Can't always be that the black character is here and I just saved the block or I just saved this and the white character's off over here doing all this stuff. It can't be that. It can't be that because then we're doing a disservice to our own community. And I think that's why people like Static so much because the thing about Static is like we know that he can take his powers to different levels, but that hasn't been shown yet. But he also always stood up for what that black experience was with Static, and I could be wrong, but I think with some of the other ones like Icon and everybody else, we know that they just kind of like there. They're not doing anything with like the black experience or anything. The same thing with Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel is a hoss as far as powers, but he don't really represent that because he kept putting out, well, I'm not that, I'm not this and that, I'm not the part. But Virgil never did that. Virgil, there was never a thing with Virgil and Static that it was like, I'm not just a hero to black people. It's like I'm there, but that conversation doesn't come out like that. It never comes out like that. It's like, yo, I'm black, I'm this and that, and I love everybody, and I want to do whatever for my people in Dakota and everything. And it's never been that. So I think that's why a lot of people look over the people like the look over the Icons and the Blue Marvels and stuff. We like them, but when it really comes to, and maybe it's, and I'll say me. I won't say everybody. I won't do that. I'll say me. This is why I look over them because it's like they don't represent that experience. They don't talk about that. And then I think why people like Spawn for the most part, and because it was never a thing. Like for Spawn, it was never a thing. And then he was living his life, and he was a black dude, and we see him with a black woman and everything. But he wasn't like I'm not black, I'm not this and that. He done burnt, he going through hell, all this other shit. But it's not a thing where it's like, man, I'm black and I'm this and that. If the question is presented, that's when we're like, how you gonna answer this? And some of the other ones, when it's happened, with some of the other ones, they go out their way to make them not a part of that experience. You're better with not even asking about it. You might as well not even ask the character about anything about blackness or any of that. Because once you start playing that other shit where it's like, I'm not the hero to just black people, or I'm not, then it starts getting a little wild. And again, this is me. You don't have to agree, you don't have to like it, you don't have to whatever. That's fine. I'm fine with that. But that's how I see it. And it's part of the reason why I made, and my man Roosevelt Pitt on Instagram said to my question, he was like Void Beast as far as being overpowered. And you can go pre-order that chapter 4 on the website at akachicomics.com. And I did that on purpose. With Void Beast. I wanted to make an overpowered character that could hang with the likes of some of the other ones as far as the manga genre is. Somebody that had these limits that could just keep going. Now, are we just going to have them just jumping through hoops easily and stuff? Not necessarily, but I wanted that because a lot of kids like that. And that was a wild thing about with Void Beast for me. It was a thing where I made this character that's OP and I can tell people what it's like. And then a lot of people compare it in person, people compare it to stuff like Naruto and everything. I was thinking more like X-Men, kind of werewolves and stuff like that. But I can see the Naruto comparison, especially for the whole manga side of things. And I don't, hey man, if that's what they see, that's what they see. But the thing about it is when I sell the book to people, especially like on 2 and 3 day cons, people will read it and then they'll come back and it's like, what did you think about it? And they'll tell me what they thought about the character. And I'm like, okay, that's what I was trying to convey. And then a lot of people will be like, okay, well, TJ is overpowered, but it's not like he's being gratuitous with using his powers and just running through people. And I always appreciated that because like that's kind of what I'm trying to get across to you. It's like he is overpowered with his power set, being able to control dark matter. The dude can teleport, he can create weapons with it, he can generate all kind of shadow beings and stuff. We ain't got to that yet. And all of this stuff, and he can change form. He has at least three. He has at least three forms, and he can go through all of this stuff. And I'm not going to talk too much of that part. I'm not going to talk too much about that part. But he can do all of these things. And when younger people see him, it's like, oh man, I like what he can do. And the same thing with my character, Denise. It's a thing where I'd have little black girls buy it, or they would buy it for their kids. And then the girls would come back to me and they would say, oh yeah, I liked her because she liked her powers and she can do all this stuff and she can't die. And then she seemed really confident because she said X, Y, and Z when this happened. And that's always a good thing to me because I'm like, okay, the young people get what's being said. And we can't have these heroes. We can't always have these black heroes that are some when people talk about like Killer Bee and the rapping and stuff, that's whatever. But for me, it's more of a thing where they have these little caps to where they're not off doing the wild shit. It's like, I don't just need, and that's my thing with this whole diversity thing. I don't just need black people there. Like, I don't like people there doing some here and there stuff. I need black people, and this is why I create what I create. I need the black characters to be at the forefront of world saving and stuff. I need them not just, man, my brother got shot and I gotta go save him from the drug dealers. And I need them to be werewolves. I need them to be vampires that are going saving the world, that are stopping whole invasions and stuff. I need to see them do that. And I don't need this cap shit on them. I don't need this shit where they got these little soft caps and they can't do it. No. You need to go get whatever amulet you need to go make yourself more powerful, or to go get yourself out the situation, or whatever the case may be. Black characters need to go through this. And again, for me, I don't just need them there. I'm not just happy. Oh man, there it's a little black hobbit and they there. Yeah, we made it. The story wasn't for your ass in the first place. So why are you just so happy about being included in something that wasn't for your ass in the first place? And that's the problem with black folks. Y'all too happy about being included in shit that you wasn't supposed to be in the first place. And I'm not talking about no damn I'm not talking about like actual, I'm not talking about actual situations like, hey, actually I am. Come to think of it, I think we lose a lot of our value when it comes to things like that. I've been looking at stuff for like the Negro Leagues and everything in baseball, and I'm like, what on God's green earth possessed black folks to do what they was doing, especially American black folks? Because now it's not American black folks just seem to be, it ain't that many in the game of baseball anymore. And I could be wrong. But I'm looking at the stuff from the Negro Leagues. I'm reading these articles and I'm looking at the people. It was like, yo, this person and his wife bought this league, or this black man that lived here was a dentist and he got up with this other black dude that was a farmer, and then they built this league, or this black person owned this one and he got up with all these other black people that were business owners and they built this league. And I'm like, what? Like, y'all got all this stuff in all the pictures of the Negro League games and stuff. You see all of these black people in the stands. And American black folks just all in the stands, on the team, in the stands, everything just packed. And I'm like, wow. From New York to Kansas City to Milwaukee, just pictures of black folks in the stands watching these other black folks play baseball. And I'm like, but we get this thing where for some reason, what everybody else do is just better. And we have to be included in what everybody else do. And we fight for it. We fight to have second-class positions. And I see it up and down my timeline every day, and it's always one of these things: a stepping in inclusion, and my conclusion is that this gonna be the right thing. Like how? Like when do y'all understand what ownership is? When do you understand that you have to own your own shit and go through that same thing I was talking about last week, and you have to go through that pain to build your own shit so that you can control the outcome? We don't get that. And that's why it is important to have overpowered black characters. Because once you have these characters, it lets people know that black characters can be this. They don't have to be this, or they don't have to be the character that just pops in, does some goofy shit, and then just disappear. No, you can save the world. You can go across the universe, saving different planets with dragons or dragon people or horned people, and you can be the leader, and you can go do all this stuff. You can be the little fairy that's saving the universe from the Dark Lord and all this stuff. You can do that. You can do that. But we find with taking the second class citizen route, it's like, you know what? I'm just happy if we a hobbit and I'm there, or we just was just one little black person that voiced that, and I'm happy if we there. I'm like, okay. So, or I'm just in the story, and I'm fine with seeing them there. As long as I see some black folks there, it's like they're like, as long as we see some black folks there, everything is fine. And it's not. It's not. It's needed. And it goes back to, like I was saying, with that Negro League thing. You had and that's the thing, man. But it's like we always do. We always do. Then we try to. This is why I don't listen to motherfuckers. I have a hard time listening to motherfuckers, especially online. I'm reading what they're saying, and it's like, even if they pop on my post, I'm like, you're a fucking idiot, because you there's no way that that's fine, because history has told me that that's not fine. Because if going, like I said, going back to the Negro League before I was reading the comic, going back to the Negro League thing, there's a bunch of black people that's supporting. There's black people all in the stands. There's black business people from all over the country that's helping this league helping this league thrive. And it was thriving, it's doing okay. It was thriving, so much so that that's why the regular baseball leagues had to start bringing in black folks, because they knew that black folks had the money to go do it. Because it was like, we had our own stuff, and we had to be up under each other. Oh, it's all good, man. It's all good. I ain't mad at you. It's perfectly fine. I appreciate you being here. I'm doing good. Just ranting like I always do. It's like, black folks had the money. We were working. We were doing all this stuff. So we had businesses and everything. So they went to these Negro League games. But then it was like, you know what? Let's get these over here. And they're like, oh my God, we need to. And then they started selling the teams. And then black folks was there for a little bit, but then it was the racism and this and that. And then other black folks talking about it's a step in the right direction in the inclusion. That's that civil rights goofy shit. No. And we still talk this even in the comic community. Even when it comes to these movies and we get played with this diversity shit and everything. Don't none of us own it. Don't none of y'all own it. Don't no black folks own this stuff like that, but we still keep playing each other with like that. We still keep playing each other with that. And then so when we get characters, and then it's a thing where we're putting caps on them, or they're not doing, or black folks see that Iron Man and everybody else can go save the day, and they can go do all the wild stuff and everything, and they can be the world savers and take prominent positions and all of that. Then it's like, well, I like Iron Man, I like Thor and stuff, and then it's like the black folks are just kind of like, T'Challa ain't there when it comes to all this other stuff. He's just kind of He's not there in Endgame and stuff like that. He pops up later, but man, he ain't really, like, he couldn't do it. He couldn't be there doing a bunch of wild shit. Ain't like Falcon was there. Ain't like Rhodey was there. He got shot out the sky. So, like, when and then Monica is just subservient to Carol, and they'll change it probably or whatever. They can probably change stuff, but it's like at some point, we got to put our characters and make sure that our overpowered characters are there. Do they have to be overpowered with ignorant stuff? No. But you know what? I'm not even going to say that. You do whatever you want with your story. I'm not here to do that. It's like exactly why I do mine too. I'm not telling nobody that. I'm not, you got to get this structure. I ain't the one to do that. Do what you going to do. You put it together and you make them if they can fly through, if they can jump off Earth and fly through 400 planets and through a different universe, and they a black character, let them do it. I don't care. I'm not that. That's not me. That's not me. I'm not about to tell y'all what it is, and that the story don't make no sense and this and that. When it comes to creators and stuff, especially black ones, no, you go out there and you make it, because it needs to be said. They definitely could have did something. And you know what? Like, Paul, something has been on my mind. Going back to me talking wild about Marvel. If Thor could give people the power of Thor, why didn't he give them Thor's power on Wakanda? Or even on that fight in Endgame? Just a thought. Maybe he found out later. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. But there's an importance, because it works on black people. It worked. The thing about these movies and stuff, and what Disney and a lot of these places understand, is that your imagination is important, and it's a battleground of sorts, because it's like you got all these different thoughts going on and everything, and then you go to the movie theater these movies, you're sitting down basically saying, I'm going to ingest whatever you give me, and I'm willingly going to take it. And if you consistently seeing black folks subservient, half-powered, or whatever and stuff, then it plays a part to where it's like, okay, well, we just should be fine with whatever we get. We should be fine in this position. And that's what I see a lot going on. It's just a thing where it's like, yo, we're fine here. We're fine with Rhodey. We're fine. Oh my God. Falcon get to be Captain America. And that's going on in the comics and stuff. But even in the comics, I didn't care. I was like, oh, okay. All right. And it's nothing. And we'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. You know, he might do some amazing shit. And that's the thing. Like, even with like, and speaking of that, even with like manga and stuff, even with Naruto and everything, it was like I felt like the characters were there and they were powerful and everything, but they weren't the world savers. And this is why you have to create your own stuff. This is why it goes back to you have to create your own stuff. And this is why even with Void Beast, I was like, yo, I want him to be, he'll be in this story, he'll have different werewolves with him that are all his friends, that are all powerful and everything. But he has to be the one to do this world shattering shit. Like TJ has to be the one to do all this. And he has to be the one that the conversation is around to where he can do whatever, even if he doesn't do it. But we know he has the capability to do it. Like, it's like Storm. Like, that's why I feel like Storm is another one, like I was saying, with Static. It was like Storm was another one that kind of nobody, like, we like her and stuff. And Spawn too. It's like we like her because it's not too much of an issue. And it's and I could just be all over the place. It is what it is. But when motherfuckers tell me what I've been seeing for years, that's one thing I ain't going for. What question? So I'm just like, with Storm, it's like, you know, that she could suck the oxygen up from around the person. Static could basically kill a bunch of people because every being has electromagnetic energy. Everybody, we all got it. We all take it in. He could kill people. All of these things play a part, but it's like, no, we know that they don't do it, and that's a good thing. We know that they don't do it because that's not the style of hero they are and stuff. And so, again, having that black character that is this world beater, this universe destroyer, good or bad or whatever, especially the good guys, that it lets people know mentally that it's like, yo, we can be at the forefront and do these things for a character that lives that experience. But again, like I was saying earlier, they have to live that black experience. It has to be a thing where it's like, I'm aware of what I am, and I am this, and Okay. I am black, and I do stand up for black people, but I'm here to help everybody. I'm not I'm here to help. I will help everybody, but I will stand up for my people when necessary. And that's the thing that makes me love Magneto and Cyclops. Like I love those two for that reason. Um no, no. Like it's not really hard to make like a bunch of people that's easy. I have one this non-black character. This is my main character. I put his book out, but it didn't catch on too much. And I'll probably just incorporate him into some other story. His name is Warren. Um and I'll probably put it I need to put that on the website. Yeah. But that's the thing about Cyclops and like I was saying with Cyclops and Magneto. It's a thing where it's like these two are like, we'll help other mutants. We'll help. I even help humans sometimes when it comes to certain things. I don't know, but I like that they stand up for who they are. Magneto's like, I'm Jewish, I'm a mutant, this and that. I stand up for that, and that can be interchangeable. But as far we always know he a mutant. It's like I'm a mutant. We know that part, and he stands up for his people. We don't have to worry about if Magneto is going to be like, oh, I don't just save mutants. I'm just not a hero to mutants. I save everybody. And then y'all pop up and be like, well, you gotta understand that. Y'all goofy as hell to me. And I could be y'all too. That's perfectly fine. But the thing is, I'm like, yo, this song, let me fix this real quick. Oh, a lot of for me, and this is just my thing. My thing. I'm not saying that like with TJ and Void Beast. I'm not saying that all werewolves got to be black and they got to be this and that. No, 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 no. Because it is everybody in the. I you know, man. I grew up out there, and I loved being around. That's what I loved about Southern California is because I was around every. It was a bunch of people, Filipino people, black people, Mexican people, Latino people, people from the Middle East. We grew up around everybody, like, and I love that. That's what I miss about being in certain cities because being around everybody and being able to interact with everybody. But what I'm saying is that the black characters need to play main roles and need to be the ones that are doing this world beating shit and doing like why there should be and it needs to be created. I say it needs to be created by I had to think for a second. I'm like, I would say it needs to be created by black people and they have to have some sort of connection to the black experience. And not this thing where they shrugging off their blackness like, no, we don't got to talk about that. We ain't got to no man, but you ain't got to harp on it. It ain't got to be black, 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 but it damn sure can't be blue Marvel goofy shit neither. I'm not just a hero of the black man. I would never do that to y'all white folks. Why y'all think that? I'm just a hero to everybody. Oh, I'm gonna go hide like y'all tell me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna use my powers, sir. Like, what? And then yeah, and so it's not a thing where it has to be everybody got to be black and isn't that now I have characters like in my book Dragontius with the dragon people that I would have had that done. I wish I could have got that to y'all. I really do. But that did not go right because of the artist and the person just backed out and was like, well, I can't do this. And that's why I always say I respect Nick so much because nobody was doing what he was doing while he was working on Sankara, and that man still got it together. And I can't compare everybody to that, but it is what it is. It's like, but I had a race of half dragon people, and they were all black. Like they were all black. And I was kind of going that route with Void Beast, but we might have to figure out something. Well, I'll get into that later. but they were all black people. That was just a race of half black dragon people. They were like demi dragons. They can turn into dragons and all like that and blah 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 blah. But no, it ain't got to be a thing where it's like, I'm not saying don't have anybody else. Wait, ain't nothing wrong with white folks. Ain't nothing wrong with white folks that's cool and about their business and uh they human beings, they respectful and everything and stuff like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with no other race and stuff. But we gotta stop shortchanging ourselves. And like I said, that's why I made TJ the way I made him, is because I need him to have all the power. And I needed to where this was a thing that comes from his family, to where the only way somebody could really take it away is if they try to steal it, and they can't even really, and they would have to try to steal it. They would have to try to steal it from it. It's not like you can just come take it. It's not like somebody else gave it to you. It's not like Iron Man gave you this suit, or you got Captain America's shield, or you got your powers from Wanda. Ugh, Jesus. So I'm just messing with y'all. I'm messing with you. It's important to me, and to some people it's not. It's not, but this is my shit, and you watching my shit, and that's what I'm talking about. It's important because these black kids need to see that, and they read it. They read this stuff. Like my daughter reads like all the books that I bring in. She reads the Sunstormers books. I got those with me. She reads. Let me see what else I got. My action figure of TJ. She ain't read Blackjack. She ain't read that. She read that. She went over Soul Search. She went over Blade. Blade Titans. She went over that one. She read the first Dark Vulcan from the Cerberus Entertainment guys. Kadeem and Keenan them. I follow them on Twitter and stuff, and on Facebook. I follow them too. My daughter loved it. My daughter loves it, but she told me everything that happened with the first one. I got to get her to read the rest of this one and stuff. And then my man Calvin Chambers. I just showing that I got this. Calvin Chambers made this one, Licorice Metro. So again, these kind of stories are important to where my chair always slides down. I've talked about this before. I was like, I thought I was going to get one of my businesses. I thought I was going to give me another one, but then the person backed out. They sold it for some more money. So I was like, damn, I ain't getting that chair. I wanted that chair. But it's important because, again, I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over again, because they need to be seen. Not this, well, we got them in there and it's good that we there. No. We keep sitting at tables that ain't made for us, and then we happy to be there. This is what keep getting us pushed to the side, but everybody else is fighting to keep their control of what they got and of their own table. You don't have to like it. You can say whatever. I'm just going to not listen to you, and I don't go on your page to degrade you about what you think and stuff. I may say something that I don't agree with, but actually I don't even really do that on other people's pages anymore. And if I do talk about somebody, let me talk. I thought this comment was going to go another way. Let me just kind of scurry on about everything. And so yeah, that's what I think that there needs to be more OP black characters. There needs to be more overpowered black characters, and that we know that we're putting these characters out that we know that they can do world breaking, world saving, universe journey and stuff, with them being the leaders, them calling the shots, and them going into different realms and stuff. But and it's on them to figure out solutions. Because if you always see the black person as just this side character, you're not gonna think that, yo, I can be, these little kids ain't gonna think that I could be the leader and I can figure out how these things work. It needs to be that way. It needs to be that way. I need TJ to go through I need TJ and Boy Beast to go through a bunch of trials and tribulations, but still show that he can handle it, whether it's by brute force, whether it's him by thinking his way out, whether it's him being helped by the little zombie black girl, or whatever the case may be. I need that to be seen when these little people read these stories and see what's going on, so that they can know, oh yeah, I can do that. I can go and create this stuff, and I can go and save the world. That's important to me. That's something that I've always thought about with most of the black characters, even with people like Luke Cage and Blade and them. I have Luke Cage books all, I don't know where I got it at. Anyway, it was always just like, okay, he just kind of on the block and he just working on a few things. Man, my thing got blurry. Okay, damn, it got blurry a little bit. This new camera, I ain't too sure about it. I ain't too sure. It might work, it might not work. But all of these things are the things that I feel like needs to be done. So you can talk about it in the comments. You can let me know. But when I just see, my issue is that when I say, and I want to be clear when I tell people, when I'm like, yo, fuck that or whatever, when it comes to stuff that people say, it's like, if you come to me with something that I didn't think about or I'm not seeing, okay. But when you tell me some shit and you tell me, no, it makes sense, or we gotta just it takes time in the steps, and we gotta get what's that? Interesting. I would say just right from there and then build on top of that, man. But you're not going to tell me that what I'm seeing, that what I've been seeing for years and what's been going on for years with black people and black characters, you're not going to tell me that you just got to wait. How long you got to motherfucking wait? When I'm watching everybody else build their own, and when you build your own, I'm seeing that it turns out a little better. It's harder. It's always harder. But you gain leverage in what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. And you can make the character the way you want to, until you get to a level to where you're good enough and you prove yourself that you can change other people's stuff. Outside of that, I'm like, no, you're not going to tell me. And I'm looking right at it. I'm looking right at this is what I see. And when you keep talking about, people keep talking, they did that to us when it came to Finn in the Star Wars movie. It's like Finn came in and I was like, okay, he looked cool. And then the Force thing, I was like, okay. And then he wasn't a Jedi. And then you know what black folks said? When after the first movie was like, a lot of us were like, yo, he ain't gonna be no Jedi. With the way they did it, he's not going to be anything. He's just gonna be kind of in the background. You don't know. Y'all got so much faith in these damn corporations. One minute I hear y'all talking about eating the rich. Then the next minute, I hear y'all defending everything they do. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So it's eat the rich, then it's and down with these corporations. Then the next minute, y'all defending everything they do. I don't get it. I don't get it, y'all. Like, y'all goofy as hell. So it is what it is. But it's needed. And hopefully I said what I had to say, because I know I'll be all over the place. Yeah, that was wild what they did to that dude. And so I'm just like, no, I can't. You're not gonna tell me. I hear some stuff going on outside, so I'm kind of listening. So outside the door, so I'm kind of listening. My little people, they wild. I don't know what they be doing sometimes. I just gotta make sure they don't buzz. They're like, "Hey, pops!" I'm like, "Oh God, what are y'all doing?" And I gotta figure out what's up with this camera. I don't think this thing is. I don't think this thing is focusing like it should be. But yeah, you're not gonna tell me that. You're not gonna tell me that this is fine, and we keep seeing it over and over again. And somewhere through him right away. You ain't gonna tell me that's that we always just gotta wait, and then we get a character on the side, then they just move on, and it's back to the story as usual. And then you want me to cheer with you? I'm not cheering with you. I'm not clapping my hands. I'm not. Yay, the black person. It's like The Walking Dead. Walking Dead, one of my favorite shows. But every black person in the show was some weird eye bucket Negro, and it was just like, oh, God, what is going on with y'all, man? Like, come on. Exactly. And so I'm just like, no, it's important. It's important. Just like my dude was one of my dudes was talking about with like I mentioned with Spawn. It was just like Spawn was there. For me, it was like Spawn went through, and Spawn always seemed like a regular person. And McFarlane didn't add again, he didn't add a bunch of the black stuff unless I missed it. And that could be that I missed it. But it was just a thing where it's like, we know he's black and he's doing all this stuff. And maybe because he was burnt up or whatever, it was kind of like, whatever. But in his life, it wasn't a thing where he was out of pocket. He was ever out of pocket. Like I said, for me, Blue Marvel, Icon, some of these other dudes, where it was just this thing where they were like, yeah, I'm black, but what do you want me to do about this stuff? It's like, you tap dancing nigga. You tap dancing nigga, you. And so I'm just like, come on, man. Come on. But yeah, I ain't gonna harp on that too much longer, but it's necessary. It's necessary because kids do pay attention to it. And I don't need my kids to think that, yo, they can't do what the black characters can't do what the white characters do. The black characters can't be these world beaters. The black characters can't be overpowered and hang with the rest of these characters and have lead roles. Not just there, not just we was there stuff. We there. I need you to be up in there tearing shit up. I need you to be in there doing your thing and showing that you're a leader. And leader leads of the story, not just some other group and then they gone or they get murdered or some stuff. I need you to be the lead role. We need that. We need that because these kids need to see that. It can't be, hey man, Iron Man can do this and that. Tony can do this and that. Thor can do this and that. Captain America, Steve can do this and that. But I'm still listening. I think some family members are here, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on. But Black Panther, he just die in a snap and he don't come back or whatever the case may be. He died. He don't. No, we need everybody to do it. Yes, they did that. They did do that to A-Train, and that was my biggest problem. Like A-Train is the biggest coon, one of the biggest coons I have seen in comics, because it's like, my dude, the things you doing are ridiculous, and I'm just like, what? Like, why would you bring this person here? But then if you haven't seen The Boys the last season, it's like, then when he brings whatever happened to his brother and the little cop power guy bust up his brother, and then just that whole thing about, I didn't want them to be killed. I didn't want him dead. I wanted him to see justice, Nick. I would have told my brother, if you don't get out my mother, you know what? I'm going to get out your motherfucking face and I'm out. Because this person done hurt other people. And y'all talking about bringing him to justice. He keep hurting and doing black folks dirty. And y'all keep talking about doing it. And all this dude keep doing is getting away with. If I had the power to, yeah, this dude going to be gone. Like, no, I'm trying to help him and he still don't want to help. So no, nah. But it's just the way. And then just trying to spin it. But A-Train is a good example of a person that's not diving into that experience. And we just look at him like a coward. It's like, I'd rather you die standing up for that, standing up for what you believe in, than constantly cowering. Is like, you know what, I'm gonna get beat up and I'm gonna get killed. It's like, dude, whatever, my dude. But yeah, That's all I got. Because then I'm gonna start just going on and going on and going on and going on. And what is that? And then I'm gonna just go on and then just let it be whatever. So as always, one thing I'm going to talk about, and I'll probably talk about this later because I don't have to do it tonight, is this season 6 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. As y'all know, I love JoJo. I don't care what none of y'all say. I don't care if it's gay. I don't care if the characters love each other. I don't care if the characters kiss each other. I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Rocky's writing style and everything, it speaks to my soul. I don't understand it. It just do. I read them, and I've read most of them, but I read. I'm on Still Ball Run right now, and I finished 6 with Jolene and stuff, and now seeing it animated is a little. So I'll talk about that, and this is why I'm whatever with Marvel too. So I'll talk about this later. But as always, if you have not already, go to akachicomics.com and pre-order Void Beast Chapter 4 so that I wanted to do it that way. And I wanted to talk about that real quick before I get out of here. I wanted to talk about that because I wanted to do this differently. I've ran several successful Kickstarters. Y'all have seen it. It is what it is. And there's no issue with Kickstarter or anything. I just wanted going back to the whole having more control over what I'm doing. Like I was talking about with the Black characters. I want to have more control over what I'm doing. I want to be able to know that I can get my books to my core people. There's nobody in the middle taking my money. There's none of that. I don't want to talk all this, own it and control it and take it into your own stand on your own too and not do certain things. Now, am I saying that if you go, yeah, Orange Piccolo is one of them. If I'm not saying if you do your stuff on Kickstarter, you don't own and control. No, I'm not saying that. But it's something to where I want to be known for my own stuff. I want you to know that I can do. I don't need Kickstarter in the middle to pre-order and send out books to people. I can do that. I don't have a whole slew of people saying that I didn't send their stuff. Now, if I did, they may have skipped over them. They may have filled something out, but if they get in contact with me, I always send it out and I get it to people. And I can stand on my own too when it comes. It's going to be harder. And I'm not going to get as much back, and I may not get as much money doing it, but I would definitely get it to the people that are loyal, the people that have been with me on the journey. And I appreciate y'all. Like, I really do, because that means a lot to me that some of y'all just buy the books. No matter where I put it at, you buy it. You come to me face to face and buy it. You go online, you pre-order it. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I don't need Kickstarter to do what I've been doing. And again, it's me. I think I'm just one of the people that got to do shit the hard way. Like, for some reason, it's like, but I'm always fine with it. I'm fine with doing it that way because I feel like it's a better experience because there's nobody in the middle. I don't like people in the middle. Even with some of even personal business, like businesses that I run with my people that I don't tell folks about. I don't like people in the middle. Sometimes you have to, but I don't. I'd rather deal directly with people. And so putting it on my website and doing it that way was an easier way for me. And I didn't want to worry about all the other stuff that come along with it. And if it don't get to everybody, that's fine. If it get to the same amount of people, that's fine too. If it don't, that's fine too. It is what it is. But I could do it at my speed. I could do it at my pace. I don't have to do this whole time and it is what it is. I'll go into that a little bit later. But if you haven't, go pre-order Void Beast Chapter 4 at akachicomics.com, and that's how you can support. Very true. It is more rewarding that way, and that's how you can support. Just pre-order and get books and stuff like that for me. That's how you can support. You don't have to worry about super chats and all that stuff. Well, if it happened later, maybe, but the best way is to support, read the books, tell people about the books. Tell me if you like the book. Tell me that book is motherfucking trash. I'm like, damn, you may be right about certain things. Or I'm gonna say you a motherfucking lie. So it is what it is. But as always, if you haven't, go to akachicomics.com, pre-order of Void Beast Chapter 4. We'll get the digital version. I can't do, people ask me about the digital version. I tried, but it won't let me put up pre-orders for digital content for some reason. Also, the people that get the book, I plan on sending digital copies to as well. So when you pre-order the regular physical books, I'll send digital copies too when we do that. So that'll be a little bit later, but you'll get all that and stuff too. But as always, thank you for kicking it with me. Thank you for hollering at me and all that good stuff. And I will see y'all later. Go to akachicomics.com and have a nice night and all that stuff. And I'll probably be back on later this week. If not, I'll be back Sunday. And I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.